Hey guys, welcome to Anaconda Kids TV, episode 3. Today we've got some more drills to go through, some self-defense skills. We've got some new technique to look at. We've got more trivia questions and a couple of riddles and a code to break. So let's get into a warm-up. Feet together, eyes up. Okay, we'll start with our sit-outs. So, hands and feet on the floor. We're just going to drop this foot through to where the opposite hand was, and then back again, and then the opposite, back. You just put it on repeat. One hand. Switching, switching. Let's do maybe 10 of those this side. And relax. Okay, so the next one is we're going to add a reverse sit out. So we're going to start to rotate 90 degrees. So what that looks like is when we're here in our hands and feet, and I go through here, I'm going to go all the way through to be on my hands and feet here. And then the left foot and the right hand switch again. So we go through here, and then the opposite, and then the opposite. So we should start to rotate 90 degrees. So I'm switching hand and foot, and then the opposite hand and foot. So each time I change, it's the opposite hand and foot, so I rotate. So we do that for, say, 20 seconds, go. And relax. Good stuff. Okay, so now we'll start with some back rolls. So we're just going to grab our shins here. Nice rounded back as we go all the way back and all the way up. We try and keep our knees nice and close to our chest as we do this. And relax. Now we're going to do it's called a triangle pop-up. So as I go back onto my back, I'm going to tuck one foot behind my knee like this, and then I alternate sides like this as I go. Bang. Okay, so as we roll back, we tuck that behind, and then we go back again, we switch, and then just in your own time, you go 1, 2, 3. And excellent. So now we're going to add this technique where I'm going to come up into combat stance. So I'll pop up onto this foot, and as I come forward, I'm trying to just open these hips out. Okay, so the trick with this one is once I do my triangle pop up, the leg that's bent, in other words this leg that's behind my knee, it's just going to stay bent. So as I come up, this one stays bent, and then I can just roll straight forward, open my hips out, and then I can switch. So I can come up. Okay, and then we just alternate 1, 2. Okay, just in your own time. And Okay, our drilling for this episode, we're going to cover some self-defense on the ground against an opponent that's trying to punch us. So this is what we call the punch block drill. There's 5 different positions. So today what we're going to do is look at each of those 5 positions, how they relate to each other, and we're going to go up and down the scale from position 1 to 5 and 5 to 1. Okay, so let's have a look at how that works. So we're going to start in close guard. Okay, so we're on our back, we're in close guard here, and in this scenario we're defending against an opponent that is trying to strike at us. So what we need to do is control them with a clinch, so it's hard for them to hit us. Okay, so we're gonna get into what we call position 1 of the 5 positions. So position 1 is we're gonna bring this person down close to us with our legs, right? So I can grab the head here, and I can get an overhook over this arm. Okay, so I overhook the arm, I hold tight, I get a deep overhook, I grab the head, and I pull my head, I sit up and tuck my head in tight to here, okay? So if this person's trying to punch me, it's hard for them to do any damage here, okay? So we're nice and tight. So that's position 1. Okay, so what we'll go from position 1, bang, I'll get an overhook, I grab the head, nice high, close guard, everything's tight, squeezing, head nice and tight. Okay, so position 1. What my opponent's going to do is they're going to get their hands on the inside so they can push us away, so they can get posture to here. Okay, so we've lost the posture control. Okay, so from this position, he can just start striking and unloading. Okay, so as they sit up and they start to throw punches, what we have to do is straight away we get our double shell. Okay, so we cover our head like this, we keep our forearms in tight. My head's off the floor. I'm here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to move back a bit, bring my feet to his hips, to here. I'm going to close my knees together, and then I'm going to lift my hips up and push my shins here and my knees up towards my opponent here. Like this, okay? So if we look at that again, position 1, overhook here. So if he gets away from us, I lose the posture. He's about to start throwing punches. I'm going to cover, hip escape, feet on the hips, bridge and shove my knees up towards him. So if he's trying to punch me now, he's trying to lean forward and punch. Okay, I can keep him at distance there, I can control the distance. So position 2, feet are on the hips, knees are together. I'm bridging like this, and my head's off the floor, and I've got my double shell. Okay, so if he's just sort of leaning forward trying to punch me from there, yeah, so throw punches from there. So I keep him away. Like I don't let my knees come down to where he can hit me. So I just want you to stay sort of, so back, if you just try and hit me from there, it's my knees that are keeping you back there, and I still cover, right? So as he's trying to hit, right, he's trying to punch me, right now, he's going to try and stand up now, because he can't hit me, so he's going to try and stand up to hit. Okay, so as he stands to throw punches, I keep my feet on the hips, I keep my double shell, right, but I drop my hips to the floor. Okay, so now, if he's trying to lean over the top and throw punches, it's our feet that take some weight. So he's leaning on my feet. I've got weight on my legs, right? And I cover up. So if he keeps trying to throw punches here, my legs keep him away, okay? And I cover. So he just keeps coming in trying to hit me. Go. Okay? So we're like this. So that's position 3. So position 3 is our opponent has stood up. So go back to position 2 for a second. So 2 was feet on the hips, knees closed, hips up, right? Position 3, as he stands, my feet stay on the hips, but my hips drop to the ground. Okay, and then we hit position 3. Position 4 is he moves back a fraction off our feet. Okay, So position 4 becomes what we call our ground guard, which is, I've gone to here. So I've got my shell, I've got my feet up here like this, ready. If he moved in again, we'd go back to position 3, but he moves back to position 4. So ground guard is here. Ground guard can be here, we're up on the elbow. I've got this foot, leg flat on the ground so I can move. I've got this foot up so I can create distance and keep the space. I've got this front arm up as a half shell in case he rushes in and throws a punch. And I'm halfway to standing up. I'm gonna stand up from here. So this is position 4. Here, ground guard, side guard, okay? We've got a little bit of space to start coming up. Position 5, either he moves back enough that I'm comfortable that I can come up to here and then stand up with a technical stand up to get up to position 5, or we're in position 4 here with a little bit of space, right? I've got to here and maybe I can create the space by throwing a kick, bang, bang, he steps back, bang, and we use that to stand up and get back to our feet. Okay, so if we look at position 4 again, where we're here, position 5, he moves back a fraction, gives us some space where we can stand up safely. We stand up with our double shell, and then we step back to our fence, defensive position. Okay, so let's have a look at that again. We go from the start. So position 1 is pulling down into closed guard. Grab the head, overhook. Put my head on the overhook side. I sit up and I hide my face in my head, right? And I hold nice and tight. So if he tries to punch, we're holding on here. Okay. Next, step 2, he tries to get his posture back, right? Where he could hit us, so we immediately double shell. Move back a bit, feet on the hips, knees up. He tries to keep hitting us. He can't hit us, he goes to position 3. Feet on the hips, drop my hips to the ground, okay? From here I can keep him at bay with my feet because he's trying to lean over the top of me and throw punches here. So we still cover up. Position 4, he moves back a fraction. We don't drop our feet, we keep our feet up, active. We're here, if he tries to move from side to side, I can do this here. Whether he moves back or I can maybe kick him in the leg or something to get him to step back. Okay, we move from our ground guard to side guard, and then position 5, he moves back far enough that we can actually safely stand up with a double shell and then slide back to our fence. So what we can do now is just go from 1 to 5, and he's just going to be trying to punch me throughout that. Okay, so let's have a look. Okay, so here, pull forward with the legs, grab the head, get an overhook, nice and tight, hold on, he gets back, stands. So you can see there how we work through position 1 all the way to position 5, and we were able to get to our feet and limit the damage, get to our feet. What we could also do is scale that backwards, say from 5 to 1, because we might have to move in between different positions there. So as an example, we might go to, we're in position 5 here, where he's a fair way back, okay, but then he moves in to start throwing punches at us. We go back to 4 to here. Oh, sorry, back to 3. So now we're in 3 where he is in striking range again. So position 3 here, right, if he's leaning forward and throwing big punches, it might be better off for me to try and get back to position 1 from 3. Just drop down to position 1, right? So if he's leaning forward, trying to throw punches, like get over the top of him, so he's like that. I might be better off doing that, where I take his weight with my feet and then open and drag him in with my legs and get back to here, because this is safer than where I was. And then from this position, now we can start to look to clinch and do our ground stuff and start to attack from there, for example. But there's an example of how we could use the 5-position punch block series to defend ourselves against a striking opponent from the worst case position where we're on the ground on our back, and how we use that to get up and get back to our feet again. Okay, our technical component today is we're going to look at a triangle choke from close guard. So that is a strangle with our legs around our opponent's head and shoulder. Okay, so let's have a look at that. So we might go 45 degrees here, we'll do a few different angles. Essentially a triangle choke is we've got to get one of their arms out. Okay, so at the moment I'm in close guard, he's got both his arms inside. Okay, so I've got to get one in, one out. So you can see there we've got one of his arms outside of my legs, we've got one trapped inside, so we've got his head and his arm trapped inside my legs. Okay, so the leg that is against the neck, so you've got one leg on the neck, one leg on the shoulder. The one that's against the neck is the choking leg. Okay, so where we want to be to finish this position or this submission is, I need to get around and look directly at my choking leg. In other words, I need to come around this side, so I'm looking directly at this leg. I'm no longer laying in front of him. I've got around to 90 degrees. Okay, so we tuck this, grab the head, this goes across the back of the shoulders, and then we tuck that behind our leg like we did in that warm-up, and then we just reach around everything like this and squeeze it down onto our chest. Okay, so again, the basics of the triangle choke is I might go for double wrist control. Right, I'm going to shove one into his chest so I can jump my legs over the top of it. So we've got one arm in, one arm out. But the arm that's in, we always want that across our body to the other side here. Again, I want to look at this leg, so I've got to get myself around so I can see this leg. This is across the back of his neck now, where I can tuck that behind my leg and we can sit up and grab everything, pull it onto our chest and squeeze for the finish. So I'll do 5 of those from a couple of different angles. So here, watch one. Okay, so that's just the basics of our triangle choke from close guard. Okay, it's time to do some stretching and just warm down now. We've got 4 stretches to do today, so we'll have a look at those. First one we covered last week again, we'll do that again. We've got the feet in, knees out for our butterfly stretch. We're trying to pull our feet in as far as we can, trying to put our chest out as low as we can, try and breathe out and try and sink into that stretch for say 15 seconds. Okay, the next one we're going to do is, I'm going to bring a foot in front of myself like this. So I can put my hand on top of this foot so my leg stays kind of horizontal here. Then get my other leg out the back where I'm trying to stretch here, and then I'm trying to get nice and low and hold that stretch. Switch. Now we're going to do a similar stretch where I'm going to bring this foot over here like this. I'm going to try and reach through this hole here with this end, and I can grab this shin here, trying to sit up, so I'm trying to pull this leg towards me. Now hold. Switch. And now we'll finish on our cobra stretch. So, hands shoulder width, trying to drop our hips. Look up, head up. And relax. So there's some of the stretches we've done this week. You can do as many reps of those as you want. Try and cool down and get that stretching at the end of the session to work on your flexibility. Okay, time for a bit of fun with our trivia and our task for the week and our riddle. So we'll start with our task for the week. So on your sheet of paper, you can have a look at this. You can download that from the email that we'll send out. Basically, we've got a phrase, and you've got to try and crack the code and work out what it means and what it's all about. Okay, so there's a hint to this. The hint is you'll need an action plan to try and crack this code. So the phrase is, do rabbits and bulls count down 30 to 2? Okay, do rabbits and bulls count down 30 to 2? Okay, so you need an action plan to try and crack that code. Okay, let's do some trivia. I'll hand over to Mitch. We've got our three
questions and a riddle. So question number 1, what does jiu-jitsu mean in English?
Okay, so jiu-jitsu is actually Japanese. It's a Japanese term. It's made up of 2 words, so you've got to try and work out what the English translation to that is.
Question number 2, name 2 positions we put our arms in against an aggressive opponent. There's a hint with this one as well. It's outside and inside striking range. Question number 3, what is the minimum number of classes to be eligible to sit the next grading in our Anaconda's kids system? And lucky last, the riddle, what becomes wetter the more it dries? What becomes wetter the more it dries? Thanks, Chris.
Yeah, excellent. Thanks for that. So have a go at those. This week, we've covered some new warm-ups. All our warm-ups are the actual moves or skills that you'll use for your jiu-jitsu. So we've introduced a couple more warm-ups there for you to have a go at. Our punch block series in our drills, it's one of the most important drills that we do to combat how do we defend ourselves against a bigger, stronger opponent that has us on our back but is throwing punches and they're trying to hurt us, they're trying to hit us. how do we defend ourselves, and how do we get back to a standing position. We looked at the triangle choke from closed guard. One of the quintessential submissions that you'll see in Jiu-Jitsu or MMA. From our closed guard, the ability to not just defend and hold on to an opponent, but also attack off our back with sweeps so we can get on top, or things like triangle choke submissions where we can actually defeat our opponent from the bottom. Very critical. Yeah, we looked at a couple more stretches there today. Flexibility, it's one of the best things you can do to improve your jiu-jitsu is, continual work on your flexibility. So thanks a lot for tuning in. Team Anaconda, Kids TV, episode 3. Keep an eye out for our next episode coming out on Thursday. We'll have some more breakdown of the triangle choke and how that can be fit into our punch block series. We can wrap that up in one combined drill. And we'll have our answers to the trivia and the riddle and the info for your task this week. So good luck with all of that, and thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time. Okay, feet together, eyes up.